and welcome back. This week, there have been some pretty fun stories. Included is the coming release of Duels of the Planeswalkers, some shiny new promo foils, and a few new fantastic ideas for M10. But I don't really care. I haven't put that much time to playtesting since Regionals 2008 when I playtested 200 games when I top 16, and even then I played a subpar deck with a subpar sideboard. This season I'm determined to get to at least 3 out of the 5 PTQs in the tri-state area. This idea is going to take up a good 6 or 7 weeks of shows, but don't worry, the Zendikar speculation and M10 spoilers will still be here this summer. So this week, as suggested by the title, we'll check out the deck you should take. So let's draw. For this season, the deck I'll be playing will probably change at some point, depending on what Magic 2010 brings, as 4 out of the 5 PTQs will be post-M10. One of these PTQs I'll be unable to attend, but hopefully won't need to, as it's the last of the season. Anyway, getting to the information you actually care about is the deck you should be playing. The tech right now, that I believe a lot of people aren't really prepared for, is the green-white overrun deck. Not the version with fragile Garrix that your opponent can play around and weird 2-ofs, but rather Ethan Stern's good old hardy version with no less than 4 of every creature and playing only 23 lands. The deck has 8 main answers to Swans. Both are relatively easy to access as they cost no more than 2 mana. Also, in the case of Pride Mage, can be played in response to a Deny Reality, which now fails to deal with the answers that are supposed to deal with Seismic Assault for low costs, i.e. Pithing Needle. However, as Ethan said here,
Turbofog, because I have no outs against Turbofog, and my matchup is probably about 10 to 90 in favor of Turbofog.
The deck cowers against Turbofog. This makes playing the deck a metagame choice. Unfortunately, this means that even if there are only 2 players in the room playing Turbofog, and you get paired against them in rounds 1 and 2, and you lose because, well, you just can't beat the fog, you're out. Alex played black-white tokens at Regionals. Before the first round, he was looking confident. He tells me he even had a good psych trick figured out. But I asked him how he was doing after the 3rd round, and he says, "You know what it's like facing a matchup that you can't win 3 times in a row?" For this reason, I am also considering playing Swans this season. I mean, the cards are cheaper if you can put together the 40 lands using stuff you had from other decks. The deck can manage to win on turn 4 so many times, and before turn 6 even more consistently. And while green-white tokens can pull out a turn 4 or 5 win, they have to play their cards perfectly. However, I never like the idea of the 5-color control player just being able to make you lose the game if they happen to drop a 2nd turn Pithing Needle, or, for that matter, any deck that can just board in a Mark of Asylum, or a Naturalize, or a Wickerbow Elder, or just play the colors blue or black. Point is, Swans was a metagame deck at the time. As a result of Grand Prix Barcelona, I have no doubt that exponentially more people will play it, and you'll still need some hate for it. And yet, I don't think it'll make as much of an impact as it did at Barcelona. As a result, I guess I'm gonna have to start going around finding, more than half of the green-white tokens deck. But aside from that, the PTQ season is looking greener and whiter. So, what are your thoughts? What are you playing? What decks do you want to see on the show, and what decks need improvement? Well, we'll detail this in weeks to come, but now let us cut over to some actual play with green-white tokens. But first, let's take a look at the list. Well, it took a little while, but I finally found somebody playing Swans. Right now, you're watching a Game 3 situation where I won Game 1 and he won Game 2. I've boarded in 3 Naturalize in exchange for 3 Ajanis, but it doesn't appear as if he's boarded in anything. I start and keep a hand of 3 lands, a Noble Hierarch, a Naturalize, and 2 Witley Fleeges. The game starts with me dropping a Forest and a Noble Hierarch and saying go. He plays a Spinerock Knoll and passes. I play Windburst Kites, putting the only spell revealed, a Noble Hierarch, under it, and with nothing else to do, pass the turn. He plays a Vivid Grove and passes. I play a Plains and tap all my permanents for a Witley Fleege and say go. He plays a Seismic Assault and passes. I then naturalize a Seismic Assault and swing for 5. He taps 3 for another Seismic Assault, but I'm relatively confident as I've set him on a tight clock. He then plays a Vivid Creek and passes. I play a Forest and tap 4 for Witley Fleege and then swing for 7 with one of the Lieges, leaving the Hierarch's possible 2 damage up just in case it becomes necessary to Path to Exile something, which I had a feeling it would be. He then plays a Cascade Bluffs and a Swans, which I path, and to which he has no lands to discard, and with which I win the game. Green-White Overrun wins 2-1. So until next time, this is Anthony Palmario, tapped out for now, but we'll be back soon.